I am an Alberta born and raised visual artist, and within the last 2 years, I've taken myself into acting, become an actor. I've performed for television, feature films, and I've also done Prince impersonations as well.
Oh, nice.
And
Prince.
yes,
I can totally see that.
I can totally
had that feeling. I don't know why. I'm like, wow, he gives me like Prince vibes.
Exactly.
Yeah, totally. Wow.
Definitely.
thank you.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Right now, the Prince side of things has only been for private events, as big as 1,000 people though. Hopefully more opportunities with performing as Prince. I'm on stage in heels. I'm in full wardrobe, full costume.
Oh yeah. I think I remember you were off of a set and then you came straight to the
something like
event.
that. Yeah, it was a big day, and with all of that, I've been a visual artist, photographer, and cinematographer for about 16 years in the province. I'm known for defining emotion visually, and I'm also known to collaborate religiously every year with everyone throughout Canada and the world, and more specifically Calgary. Last year alone, I did over 800 hours of collaboration and volunteer work with the creative community. So I really do throw myself into the lives of others and their projects and process, because I am known to be the people's artist, the artist's artist. In other words, it's been a lot of fun helping others.
Yeah, it sounds like
It's been
it.
a lot of fun.
So you've been doing acting. Have you done any recent acts because of the COVID? Obviously, industry's been a little shut down.
Luckily for me, COVID has affected the industry, the film industry on a global scale. Acting is my main focus at this very moment. It's kind of where my energies are being put. I was very privileged. I had the opportunity to act and perform on film throughout COVID.
Oh, wow.
Lots, actually. I did a few commercials, nationwide commercials. I got to do an ACTRA accredited project for Jasmine Road. So we filmed a few scenes in the fall for this feature film being made by an amazing director, Warren, from Calgary, actually.
Oh, wow.
Which is hilarious, and he's now worldwide. The movie's called Jasmine Road, and they had asked me to go back into studio to do audio dialogue replacement, which is in short term called ADR. And I got ACTRA credit, which is the union for actors in Alberta, and it was my first ACTRA credit. And it was funny because my agent says, "You're the only one booking ACTRA credentials during an industry shutdown."
Wow.
She says, "What does that say?" She said, "That's huge. No one in the world's even able to do that, and you just got a credit like in the middle of it." I'm like, yeah. And I also just shot 2 commercials, small productions. They had like leeway to do what they had to do, but to be casted and then to move right into a press tour just 2 weeks ago, Jill and I started.
Oh, wow.
It's been really interesting being able to just tell my story and just to show people who I am, because I'm not one to always be in front of the camera talking about myself.
It's always the other way around.
It's usually the other way around, and it's been really nice because I'm seeing the community from a perspective I never once had before, yourself included, having me in your chair and in your space to share my story and my energy and to show people this is who I am, not just a social media post. I've got a voice.
100%.
I feel different when you have me in your presence.
Exactly. It's what it is. The show was about people that have a certain knowledge that we can learn something from.
That's right.
And what we want to do is we want to understand. There's a lot of new artists that are coming up, a lot of new people that are trying out for acting, for videography, cinematography. What are some advices that you think that people should stick with? Because it is hard times, obviously, but that doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means be creative and open up new opportunities. So what is some of the advices that you would give to some of these newcomers that are about to start or wanting to start?
Wanting to start. I see there's a trend right now this summer since the whole COVID thing, and this extends beyond that, but especially right now, I feel like what I'm doing in this downturn is I'm not being defeated by it. I'm not getting caught up in the labels. I'm not getting caught up in the noise. I'm not being distracted. If there's advice, it's to just remember who you are as an artist, as a person. Remember your why. Remember what it feels like to feel. Because once you tap back into your own self-awareness, you're able to see yourself from a new set of eyes, from a fresh perspective, and implicate those changes in your life to live your life the way you want, to your fullest. Live your dreams. Live with no fear. There's a lot of fear right now, fear of the unknown. You put your attention into that fear vibration, your reality will be based around that. I've lived in a box, so to speak. Many years of my life, I felt like I was put in a box, and I felt like I could never really step out of it and show, this is me, look at me, you know what I mean? Not until recently, and it was, and still is to this day, a constant mental battle to always just think outside the box. Don't get suppressed, don't feel like you need to be at a level that you don't shine at. And, the advice is just to stay strong and to remember who you are.
100%.
Especially, with this moment, these days, these last few months, stay grounded, stay focused on the goal. Manifest your reality. It's a lot easier than you think.
Yeah, well, it just depends on people, right?
I agree.
There's a big topic about mental health, and a lot of people going through depression.
Right.
A lot of people taking this time to, instead of growing themselves because of the growing world, with the market that has changed us, they actually suppress themselves and get depressed and go down. And these are things that, as artists or as singers or as musicians or as actors, struggle with.
Yes.
And it now is the worst time than ever.
I feel
right?
you.
And how do we get people to kind of understand, look, positivity is there. There is a positive end. But as an actor, because you're still working compared to others, for you, what was it about? Was it your passion that continued pushing you? Or was it, I need to do this. This is probably my livelihood. This is what I have to live by. So I got to do it. Was it one of those? Or was it more like, hey, this was my passion, and I'm going to keep fighting for it till I get it? Right?
What you said, it's both. And some. Absolutely. I've come from a really intense upbringing and background, and for me, I endured a lot of things in my younger years that some people that I know now, even in their 30s, haven't experienced.
100%.
Especially when it comes to that emotional state, stresses, traumas, the unknown. I've lived a life overcoming that, and a lot of these people out there in the world are just experiencing that for the first time now.
So
It's
it was
really
more
intense.
it was more like you've seen a similar trend before,
Yeah.
and you passed it already,
Yeah.
and then even if it hits again, you're not looking at the negative to it.
No.
You're just like, you know what, I had this feeling before.
Yeah.
And this was during the time when you were a starving artist. In the beginner, that's when you were struggling and this and that. And it's kind of the same scenario at this point, but it's not the struggle. It's more like, hey, this is my passion.
Yeah, I learned from the pain. I learned from a lot of pain, and I honestly, in my own opinion, I feel like people learn the most when they are in pain.
100%.
I hate even saying that, but it's true in my reality. I'm never actually, personally, I'm never actually really learning a lesson unless I'm hurting. Because that's when I want to stop hurting. It's like, oh shit, I actually have to feel different. And we all have that control. We all have to, trigger ourselves to be like, okay, enough is enough. Let's rewire our state of mind and get back to the path. They say when you're out of alignment with your soul's source, your soul's true desire, your intention, your direction, place, your goal, where you want to go. If you're out of alignment, it doesn't feel good. You're in a state of discord, dis-ease. And they say to take the path of least resistance in regards to staying happy. So, for example, living without resistance.
Yeah.
How does one do that? Living without fear. How does one do that? It's all just practice.
100%.
Practice that is to you until it feels good,
Mm-hmm.
and it will feel good.
100%. So, have you got to travel with acting?
Not yet. Oh wait. Well, no, actually.
All within Alberta or all within
All
Calgary?
the acting's been in Alberta so far.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very privileged in regards to that, and honestly, I don't feel I would have had as much success in the acting world if I didn't know the people I knew and can currently
100%.
know. Because
100%.
I wasn't acting until I knew the right people, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And a lot of it does come down to my publicist, my PR, my really good friend Jill,
Mm-hmm.
Maria Robinson with I'm Here with Magazine, who sees my light.
Mm-hmm.
Not only does she see my light, I'm in a comfortable space when I'm around her to practice my talents, to show her me, a side of me that a lot of people haven't seen.
100%.
So when she sees that, she's like, whoa, I'm going to share you with them so they can see
Mm-hmm.
and feel
What
that
it
you're
is.
ready to play. You're here. You've got it. And you're ready. You're a community
Exactly.
leader. And all the things that I've been so quiet about, she's really kind of like
pushing it out
pushing
there.
me out
And
of me.
Jill is an amazing person to do that. Honestly,
Yeah.
she's a very hardworking, and she's always promoting everyone.
everyone.
She's just a kind-hearted person that I've gotten to know over the year and a half that I've known her. Honestly, she's amazing. She just goes out of her way, always trying to help, always trying to connect people, always trying to make people come out of their comfort zones. And me and Jill talked about before Jose and all this production stuff came about. I talked to Jill about doing the show, and then we were talking about it all, and it was a talk, it was a conversation, but it was like, I gotta do it because I just talked to her about it, but then it feels good about it,
Yeah.
and then that's when I kind of jumped into it, and I was like, you know what, Jill was kind of more of my motivation to say, hey, you said you're gonna do it, just do it.
Just do it.
And that's one of the things that I learned from her. She's just like, she's on the dot where it's like, okay, you know what? I don't have a choice. I'm just gonna do it.
Just gonna do it.
I'm gonna take the risk. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, we're gonna keep going.
Right.
And that's the good thing about her. She doesn't give up, but she just keeps running. And that's how she connected with me. With Bret Hart last year, we had that event.
Love Bret Hart.
We brought him to his movie opening.
His documentary.
Documentary.
At the theater there. Yeah, it was a huge turnout. 350 people she was able to
Put together in a very, very short time.
Very short amount of time.
No
on
funds,
zero
no nothing.
budget.
Exactly.
It was incredible to see the community support for somebody like Bret Hart, who is an icon in
100%.
wrestling globally. The Hart family is a huge iconic staple, and for Calgary, we have a lot of hidden talent that a lot of people don't
100%.
get to hear about or even have the chance to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's an Alberta thing. I don't know, but that is slowly changing.
100%.
It's slowly changing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's people like yourselves with your show, people like me who are transparent and vulnerable enough to be in front of a camera and speak
Mm-hmm.
on live stream. That can help pave the way for others
100%.
who are sitting at home questioning, what am I going to do with my life? If you're an artist, if you're a singer, if you're sitting there stuck in a low vibration, in a state where it could eventually be detrimental, take that energy and put it in your art.
100%.
Take those photos. If you're in a crappy mood, make it a moody shoot.
Yep.
Edit it in a moody way. Put that pain
Feeling.
and feeling into it.
Yes.
As a singer, you got people like Taylor Swift, for example. She's known as the heartbreak queen. All her songs are heartbreak. It's
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I'm using her as an example, but she just came out with a song the other day that I literally just saw
Mm-hmm.
just hours ago before coming here, and it was like, wow, it's like still the same message. It's still that pain. It's like that poor girl still suffering. That's how I see it, And I'm like, so when I see an artist releasing
Definitely.
their stuff, I'm like, okay, they're in a good place. Cardi B, Bloody Shoes, like all the things that these artists do. It's a reflection of their
Of their own
emotional
personal-
state.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it is to be an artist. And, someone like me, I'm all these different types of artists.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I almost question myself, how do I maintain myself in all of these worlds. I'm talking like 10 different worlds at one time that I'm climbing the ladder in, you know, and I don't know anybody like me in that regard. So if I have knowledge, it's how to be that multifaceted.
Yeah. Well, the way I see it is you had to adapt to what you needed to do to get to the next level.
You get it.
And what you did was you went into the crowd that you knew was going to get you there, but you did the right things to be noticed. And once they started noticing you as a background or even in front,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, whether you were behind the camera or whether you were in front of the camera, you performed to be the best of you and the best of your own ability, and watch others and be like, you know what, I like that. I'm going to try that myself.
Yeah, I learn from others.
Exactly.
You said it. I'm a huge observer. I spent the first 28 years of my life very quiet, very tight-lipped, but I was observing everything. Every single interaction I would have, whether it was on set, behind the camera, in front of the camera, at some millionaire's wedding in you know, some rich area in the south of France or south of Italy, it's like I'm constantly absorbing others. Exactly. And I learned as I was getting older that I shouldn't be absorbing from people who weren't adding value to my life.
100%.
And everything changed. Everything changed. All of a sudden I'm being influenced and uplifted in ways I could only ever dreamed of in the past.
100%.
When you know yourself, on a deep level, is when you're able to share it with others. So you can really start making real connections with people. You know, when you're not wearing a facade or that mask, you're not living in a state of fear of, oh, are they going to judge me if I show them this side of me? Or, you know what I mean? Or I got to get to know that person better than they know me in order to be their friend. It's like, just be yourself. Be both transparent and vulnerable, and you know, like you said about Jill always helping people, setting that example. It really shows who a person is. If you watch their journey over a period of time, like look back and like look at the steps that they've taken. Now, as an artist, we don't have stability, financial stability, just to be like, oh, we're good. It's the reality. It's like it's not.
It's a struggle
strong,
consistently.
Yeah.
But the thing is, look, I know a lot of artists that are just playing the card of I'm struggling.
Oh, you said it.
But they're not realizing that that's a card that they put on themselves. They did not look beyond that little bubble they built around themselves and said, this is me.
Yeah.
How do you get out of that is what the new in is today, right? It became a trend. Like for us at the show, it was supposed to be a travel video.
Oh, really?
Yes, I was in Colombia and I decided to do a little, hey guys, I'm gonna start making professional travel videos.
Right.
And this was in December. And in March, COVID hit.
Yeah.
So there is no travel. So I was like, how do I turn this around? And I was like, you know what? I have said I'm gonna make the videos. I have said we're gonna push the envelope. With me, anything I say, especially whether it's on TV or on camera, on video, or even to people that I know, anything that I say, I have to do it. It becomes like a challenge and a task for myself. Because it's like, why did I just say that? And now that I have said it, I gotta prove it.
Yeah.
So for me, it was initially, hiring the right crew, getting everybody in. And then I realized the more I hire, the higher the cost is.
Yeah.
And I started learning the industry from the other way around. First, I was the guy that is asking you to make me my commercial. When they came in, they were making those commercials. I learned from them. I watched, I implemented, I said, hey, gears, I can buy that.
Right.
Okay. Shooting it, I don't know how to do all the, proper shoots, but I can watch them and learn their movement.
Right.
What it is I improved myself to understand what this world is all about.
Same.
Before I even said, I'm going to jump to it. And once I understood that, I was like, now that I have that, I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do any of the, photo work and everything. All you have is like Instagram, Facebook. They got little filters. You're like, yay, you look good now. But it's not the right way. It's not an artist is properly recognized from their work. right? And I wasn't an artist. I was just a guy that was a mechanic that said, I'm gonna do this. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna make this video. We're gonna have to do this. And then I ran into Jose at an event that I was speaking on stage of. It was more of an entrepreneur event, and I ran into Jose there. And then later that evening, he actually ran into me here. We ran into another friend,
Wow.
and it was the same day in the evening, and he had makeup on. He was just coming from a shoot that he was doing, and he comes over. I'm like, dude, I've seen your work, and I like it, and I think I can help you improve and also improve what I've been talking about.
Mhm.
And I literally offered him a job, and I was like, hey, what do you think of this? And he said, I'm in, and we gotta wait till my birthday's over this weekend, and then I'm in. He invited me to his birthday party. I got to meet some of his friends. The thing is, whoever you work around, you gotta know who's around them,
Yes.
because everyone's surrounding influences you as well. All their energy, all their emotions, all their expressions, whether the energy is coming from a friend of theirs, it reflects onto them. Their reflection is on you.
You know, it's funny. You said something I was literally thinking about on my drive back from Vancouver this week.
Yeah.
Some powerful stuff. So this is a synchronicity. I feel like I'm being reaffirmed. So thank you for that.
No problem.
Very, very powerful
Yeah.
words you just spoke, and it's true.
Yeah. 100%. You just gotta surround yourself with the right people, and the way you have to do it is, look, you gotta make mistakes.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the wrong people come to act like the rightest people. 100%. Okay, they're gonna do it.
Yeah.
But what you gotta realize is you have to be true to you, because at the end of the day, they're not gonna stand by you. It's you that has to stand up and face your reality, and face your fears, and face the things that you need to. Artists struggle 100%, and a lot of them, yes, not a lot of them make money right off the get-go. But making the money is not the goal.
No.
It was about being recognized for who you are and your personality as a person. And that's what you guys are bringing out. And this is why you recognize it differently than others, because others are not taking their expression as a thing. They're focused too much on the acting that they forget, how do you express that?
Yeah.
How do you take that out? How do you interact with your audience? How do you take that voice and make it powerful so people can understand you and actually hear you for who you are? So that's the difference from what I've gotten to know you about. You're taking the different steps.
Yes.
You're not thinking about, hey, this is my limitation. You're like, no, this isn't. This is my way of getting up now.
Yes.
This is my way of my footstep, because nobody else thought of this. Now I'm going to take that step, and you know what? If it hits, I made it.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't, I learned something from it.
Exactly. And you keep
There's
going.
nothing negative about that.
Yeah.
That's the way I see my life, and that's the way I see that you're progressing your life, and the way you're pushing at it. You're still, like, surprisingly, like I said, you were telling me that you were acting while others are sitting, and the industry shut down on its own too.
Literally.
And for someone to actually still be doing that, that's because of their passion. That's because they've done something right.
Yes.
That people have accepted, and said, you know what, this is the person I need. I don't care about the rest of the cast.
That's how it felt, and it
Mhm.
helped I hate sometimes using the word, but it helped validate my place in the Alberta film industry
100%.
by still climbing during an industry shutdown. And now that we're
Exactly.
coming out, I have union status. I have 3 new credits I didn't have prior to it.
Nice.
I started a show with Jill, her own little talk show thing as well.
Finally.
Plus her
I've been talking to her
documentary.
about that.
Plus documentary on my life, how we're talking now. This is my journey right now, is learning to be more of this version of me. This
Mhm.
more relaxed, comfortable, confident, self-aware human being that
Mhm.
I'm still becoming every day. It's
Hey,
not
if you
easy,
don't-
but I'm forever grateful. My gosh, if
100%.
I'm 33 in a few months, and I'm looking back on my life, and my gosh, I wouldn't change any of it for the world, because now I see why I went through
What you went through.
what I
to
went
be-
through, because
Yeah.
I'm able to still rise on a global shutdown. It's like
Yeah. You're
I
able to
have
adapt.
the tools that I was just getting at. The word is to adapt, and to do it fearlessly and effortlessly. It's fearlessly, yes. It's not effortless. It takes a lot of effort.
100%.
but you said a lot of strong points earlier. I was like still thinking about it. I'm like, wow, he's right. I'm like, sometimes you need somebody outside of you
to say the things that you're manifesting, but you're just like, is this for real?
Yeah.
Is this what I've been thinking? Is this what I've been fighting with? And honestly, the way I see it is, I learn from every one of my staff.
You get it.
Right? I don't look at, I know more because I'm in this position.
Mhm.
No. It's not that I know more. It's that they can learn something that they can teach me.
Yes.
And I can learn something from each one of them, whether it's being around your family, whether it's being a business owner, whether it's taking care of the way you handle certain things, whether how you work, your work ethic. Everything reflects onto you, and then you start noticing, this is the right person for my team, this is the wrong person for my team. Now I'm gonna separate the category. I'm gonna give them the chance to get right. I'm not gonna let them go. And I've made mistakes many times. I've had many staff members that I stuck around with them and I still fought for them because I was like, I believe you can do it.
Mhm.
But it's what people need to understand is, and I got to understand this a little late. I'm not gonna say it's a bad thing. I'm gonna say it's a good thing because I got to learn it. At the same time, I hope they did too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The idea was be open-minded and give everybody an opportunity. Don't give up on somebody until they give up on themselves. Because at the end of the day, if you can get somebody out of a struggling life and get them to become better, a better them, it's more important than just a job, and this and that. Because at the end of the day, it's what you reflect onto their life.
Yes.
Right.
You've probably met a few, even in your creative life, artists or, for example, there was a singer I had recently encountered who says, I wish I was at your level.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what? Level? I was like, I'm not at a level. But I forgot for a second who I was.
Exactly.
And it was like, whoa, this is somebody who is encouraged by my story, by my journey, questioning how can they achieve what they deem as a level that's above them.
Exactly.
And I realized, oh my gosh, I have the opportunity to educate somebody just off of my own experiences. I'm learning, and not only learning, but I'm seeing myself. And I'm seeing others who are like me more vividly these days.
Oh, yeah.
It's powerful.
It is.
Oh, there's a lot of us out there.
100%.
We're all coming together right now, and we're now the ones helping everybody else
Exactly.
get out of their darkness, if that's even something I can use. But it's true. I'm speaking to the artists actually, because I am one.
Exactly.
This might not resonate when I speak about like artistry. It might not resonate with like an accountant or a lawyer. It's more like,
no, but it depends on how you resonate it, right? Everyone in their timeline, especially in this timeline, had a stop, except for doctors that had to work twice as hard.
Yeah.
We interviewed 2 doctors. Even earlier today, we interviewed Christina Zachary.
Mm-hmm.
She's a plastic surgeon, and
thank you to all the doctors and frontline workers out there.
Thank you for working
Without
so
you,
hard.
where would we be? We don't know.
Yeah, we'd probably be near to extinction. Probably not even. Nobody took care of us. How would we get better, and how would we know what to take as a precautionary things to save ourselves and save others?
Exactly.
Right. Thank you for all of you guys to inform us. We completely understand that you can't do something that's beyond your hands at the moment, but you guys are trying your best and keeping everyone safe. Thank you for all that.
Thank you.
And so, Jordan, the way I see life is you live and you learn every single day.
Agreed.
If you close your mind and say, I am here, and you gave yourself that status of a level, just like how we were just talking about, you have already restricted yourself to so many other new things that you could have potentially learned.
Mm-hmm.
Right? For me, it's about being the real me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I worked cleaning floors. I did all the struggling things that people do when they start off in life.
Yeah.
Right? I went to a shop and I had to take a toothbrush and actually clean the shelves, which was shitty.
Yeah.
But it was to prove my point, just to be, you know what? I want this. I want to fight for this.
Yes.
I want to take this to the new level.
Mm-hmm.
So I became this person. I became the mechanic. I learned it, and I moved it into. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna set a 10-year goal, and I'm gonna open a shop. Literally on my 10th year, I opened the shop.
Wow.
And then I was like, I was sitting, and we had a Christmas party here. Then one of my employees had a Christmas party at his house, and he invited me to his house. And initially, when you are focused on yourself so much that you're like, I did it, I did it, I did it. It becomes a selfish thing.
Ego.
And it becomes that when you feel like you're in power. But what happened to me during that time when I was supposed to be becoming the guy that feels that empowerment, instead of looking at it that way, I went to one of my employees' Christmas party at his house, and I got introduced to his whole family, his kids, his grandparents, and all his friends.
Right.
And he's like, hey, he's my boss, meeting all these people. But then I started looking back. I'm like, what I do in life reflects not only my life, but every single one of these people that work here. And not only them, it's their families, their kids. That reflection of everything makes me realize that what I'm working for is so worth it.
Much bigger than
it's
you.
so much bigger than me that I have to be selfless and just do what I need to do to make this work and make it bigger, so I can help and support more people that can potentially need it, but also use their expertise to help themselves grow.
Exactly.
And if I can get the opportunity, if God gave me the power and gave me the will and it gave me the strength to continue pushing and helping these people, I'm in. I'm going to do what I can. And this is why I built this platform, which is a talk show. It's to bring people out from their comfort zone and have a voice and be like, you know what? We can be struggling artists. We can be biggest, lawyers, doctors. No matter what you want to be in life, you can be that, but you just have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to remember that what you have learned is not the end of the world. There's more to it. There's more to fight for. There's more to live for.
Agreed.
And be passionate about what you do in order to do it right. Because once you have passion involved, there's nothing that matters. It's not about the money at that point. It's more about I enjoy and love what I do. My guys are right now, they just went out and now they came back. There's 3 people downstairs right now. We've been closed for the last 2 hours. But they feel at home that they don't need to go home. They stay here, they hang out, hang out with everybody, talking to each other, guests visiting. It's because it's a family-oriented environment where you feel like I'm going to be having more fun here than I would at home.
Yes.
So what am I going to do there? I might as well chill here.
Just chill. You created that too.
Exactly.
For them.
Exactly. And it was more for me to feel like, hey, I built it. I want that comfortable environment that I don't. And Jose is proof of that. I don't know. There's been times when I have been angry, but has there ever been a time where I disrespected anyone, Jose?
Nope. Unless they deserved it.
Which I don't recall anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like even some of the people that I hired, they screwed up. But I worked with them.
I hear you.
And I literally worked with them to the point where I was like, if you're not willing to work for yourself, I am not going to keep pushing.
Exactly.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to show you the path. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to stand with you.
Help you with the tools that you need to
Exactly.
succeed. But you've got to be able to lift that tool and
Exactly.
start hammering yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's very important.
Yeah.
For
the
me,
training wheels have to come off eventually.
exactly. For me, when I got Jose here, I told Jose, I'm like, show me what you can do, and show me the things that you've done. You know what I mean? He literally came first day, he edited a video with a quick little shot, and we threw it out. And I was like, I'm liking this. This is becoming interesting. And he kept proving it. And then he's like, bro, I think we need to upgrade our equipment.
Is Jose filming your new travel blogs I'm seeing?
Everything that
Yeah,
we're doing,
'cause that
Jose
new
is
stuff
killing
you're
it.
posting, the travel, the hike.
Yeah.
And I think you guys were out with some cars
Yeah,
recently.
yeah. With the
Really
mudding
good
and stuff.
You really
Yeah.
bring people into your world. It's
Exactly. And
really well done. Really, really, really proud of you guys for doing that. I think
Yeah.
it's really
And
really
and
good.
Jose, honestly, you remember the times that when you were struggling during the times when you started, He's 21 years old.
Yeah.
He, instead of taking the wrong step, he took the time. Instead of, he couldn't do it through the school because, you know, there's obviously recommendations, things and that. But the kid didn't give up on his idea, kept pushing at it.
Yeah.
And I love that fact about him, which is the reason why I brought him in. And secondly, he's like, we need to upgrade our equipment. We need lights, we need mics, we need this. I don't know this. I'm a mechanic by trade. So I don't know any of this upgrades required. There are light reflections, none of that stuff. He does. And I was like, Jose, if you show me a path and you prove to me in the next month or two, I promise you we'll buy the equipment. And literally, he showed me. He showed me the difference between no mic to a mic that's on a camera, to an individual mic, what the sound difference are, what the light reflection from a regular light to a light like this, reflection, all that stuff that I didn't know about. I got educated. And secondly, I was like, make a business plan, because how do we make this go forward?
Right.
Whatever you're doing for me is different because we're doing it for our shop. But how can we make this into a business? Where's a business in this?
Mm-hmm.
Show me that. I told him to make me a business plan and sit down with me and talk about it.
Wow.
We sat down, talked about it. Very next day, we bought that camera.
It's a nice camera.
Yeah, we bought the. Literally, this is how I told him. I'm like, look, you have to prove to me what you want, and you have to show me that you're gonna use that equipment and make it even 10 times better.
You remind me so much of a lot of people in my life from when I was 18 till now,
Mm-hmm.
going on 33, who have done exactly what you did for Jose, but to me,
Mm-hmm.
for me, because of the exact same things you said for your guy, and I'm just
I believe
blown
in
away
him.
to
I believe in
see the way life has just come full circle for me. Because now I'm like, I feel like I was Jose at 21. You know, like
Exactly.
I was just flying back from England after living there for a few years, trying to make my dreams come true
Mm-hmm.
in a city where I knew nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was almost impossible to even break
100%.
in, and then to come back home, to dive those deep roots. There were people who saw me just as you see him, and they gave me the chance. They helped me with the gear. They
Mhm.
helped me with the knowledge. I was a very strong observer, and I was active in the community, so I got to learn through others.
Exactly.
I am self-taught, no university, no education.
Mm-hmm.
I've bought all my own equipment. The stuff that I have now, I've either worked for it or bought it.
Exactly.
And, you know, nothing's ever been given to me for free. I've always had to work
for it.
or prove or earn
Mm-hmm.
my place. And I'm a huge fan of the word earn.
Mm-hmm.
Earn it.
Definitely.
Earn it. There's so much pride, satisfaction that comes from earning something.
100%.
You take care of it better, longer. You nourish it.
Oh, yeah,
There's something to
100%.
it. You don't take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're just grateful, you're able to share that blessing with others and teach them what that means to be
Exactly.
grateful.
100%. See, the thing with me is, if I take you as family, you need to take everything we do as a family.
I agree.
We got to take care of this home because
Yes.
this home is what provides us,
Yes.
right? So there's been times where, you know, the way my guys are, and I'm very proud of them, and especially with this guy being so young and being so mature at his age, I'm very, very proud of him. And I tell his parents the same thing, like, you know what, he's a golden child, he's good, smart kid, has a bright future ahead of him, and he works hard for
My mom used to call me the golden child.
it.
Still probably does. But that's finally said that.
Yeah.
Another synchronicity. So I'm just seeing this is all meant to be. Okay.
Exactly. And Jose, to me, he came to me one time, and I was feeling like, you know what, this week didn't do that good. You know, the marketing stopped and some videos, you know. He came to me, I was supposed to talk to him.
Right.
He came to me on his own, and he's like, yeah, I feel like I underperformed this week.
Oh, self-awareness you have. Nice.
Exactly. And that to me was so much bigger than my anger at that moment.
Mm.
I was like, I didn't have to say it. He understood it. And he himself, right after that, changed the whole layout the next week. He's like, look, we need to have a meeting. We need to start going over things that we need to do. He took that lead role because he understood that, hey, I cannot always be beside him. He still has to make things possible.
And what you just said, you were in a state of some sort of anger because of the lower viewership or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But his acknowledgement to what needed to change,
Recognizing it.
that is so powerful. From your point of view, it's like, whoa. I bet you were clapping like this.
Oh yeah, no, I literally,
I love when people do that. I'm just like, I love you. Like,
Yeah,
I
you just-
knew you had it in you.
and you just came out.
It's freeing almost,
Exactly.
and it's reassuring.
100%.
And you know, I have very few people in my life to this day that have given me that, and still to this day do. And some live up to it, some don't. And you know, you just grow, you move on, you live.
Exactly.
And there's no hate. It's all love. We grow. We're human. We get angry sometimes. I find
it's
that
normal, but it's normal. man.
normal. It's
You gotta
so
remember, if we
normal.
don't have expressions, you're not gonna. If everybody was perfect, there wouldn't be any problems.
Yeah.
But the life would be so boring. There wouldn't be any kind of expression, any kind of emotion, any kind of attachment.
Mhm.
But because we're supposed to be so different, we're supposed to feel so different, we're all supposed to have a different experience in life, we need to just adapt the good stuff and keep it for our priorities.
Yes.
And use our creativeness to be aware, get the word out, get the things out, be more creative than others. What are all online YouTubers or Facebookers, the ones that are making these videos, are doing? They are going outside their comfort zone. They're like, if nobody gives me an opportunity, that doesn't mean my world ended. That means I'm gonna create my own opportunity.
Yes.
And this is exactly what I wanted to do. I'm like, instead of hiring all these people to create this opportunity, I'm going to just create it on my own. And then I'm going to prove to them that our opportunity could have worked out. But today, instead of being greedy, if you stood by me, you would have seen it.
Right.
And the way I do things is anybody that stands by me, I will stand by them.
In the exact same way. I'll fight for others. I'll speak up for others. If someone's not able to articulate what it is that's going on in their head,
Mm-hmm.
and after passing it by them, and I'm able to do that for them,
100%.
that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the right person speaking the message or the words with the right intention, it can be more impactful.
100%.
You know, when it comes to understanding another human being at an emotional level, you're never going to get there by just listening. You have to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of questions do you ask? Well, you'll only know if you listen. So you have to listen to ask questions, but you can't just listen and not ask questions. You have to do it all.
You have to do it all.
And the older I get, it's I'm seeing these things, even in
Mhm.
myself, because I'm catching myself when I'm like getting a little on edge. Like, are you kidding me? Did you just do that? Like, I wouldn't do that. But it's like, instead of getting all uppity, I like take a second to be like, hey, how can I help implement what I know in this person
Exactly.
constructively? A lot of times for me, it takes a little bit of time to
Mhm.
diffuse and reapproach it. That's just who I am. It's how I was raised. It's just everything, and I'm working on it. And it doesn't mean I'm a bad person, but in the end of the day, I see the bigger picture, and I
Yep.
always see the best in people. And I
Yep.
invest everything that is my heart and my soul in them, just like you do. When you see someone's light, and you see them just trying, and they're in the mud, just hell, like not so much help, but like,
Yeah.
does anybody see my struggle? It's like,
Yeah.
yes, I can help. Yes.
But it's the same saying, and I believe it's in the Bible, but it's also in our Quran, where it
Of
says,
course.
God says, "I will only give you when you work for it."
Exactly.
When you just sit there and beg me and be like, "Please make me this person," I'm not gonna make you
But
that
if
person.
you're there struggling to
Working,
get out of it,
I will work.
I'm gonna put out a hand
Exactly.
because I was you.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
And to someone else above me, that's like I should say even above, but like to the people I look up to,
Mhm.
they're probably looking at me like, oh yeah, I'm in the mud again.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
it's all perception and perspective. And
And
you see-
like artists get picked out because there's so many of them that try out.
you said it. There's so many to try
And
out.
I honestly, I had an audition here.
You did.
Yes, I had an audition for commercial shoots that we were doing.
Brilliant.
I put on an ad. I had 350 people come, and I was like, "There is this many people acting." I'm like, "What is going on here?" And it was supposed to be a one-day thing, but we couldn't fit everybody, so we continued it for 3 weeks. because they were just coming, and I was like, I'm getting more traffic from this than I am from mechanical. This is so weird. You know what I mean? It's an industry that was not recognized, that was not known. It's the same thing that we did with the artist industry. We had graffiti artists come out here and actually make this nice graffiti for us as a background. And I didn't know this industry existed, or this creative idea still existed. You know, you saw it in the 90s and the 2000s where people would just spray the buses and this and that and run away. But it was like, okay, it's just a thing. But this is a community which I didn't know about.
It's a huge community.
It's a huge community, and recently we just got involved with the Impact Festival.
Oh really?
Digital Impact Festival.
Yeah.
So we worked with them. We did a 24-hour stream on our channel.
24 hours.
24-hour stream graffiti jam, which was 25 graffiti artists. We had 4 walls in gym, which is in Calgary Central Sportsplex, and we had 24 hours and 25 artists painting all day, all night to complete the project before they reopen again.
Cool.
And in between there was DJs, there was singers, there was dance groups, there was entertainment, there was us doing all the video stuff, making sure that it's all live at all times, 24 hours. Me and Jose have to run back and forth to cameras, mics. Sometimes people would step on the mic cord and then all of a sudden it's disconnected. Now you got
Just
no
chaos.
volume. It was just, but what I realized was, I'm like, you know what? We sit here every time. We go out there and work all the time mechanically. This is my home. It's my hub, right? This is an opportunity to step out of my comfort, and let's just do it. I don't even know what it is.
You love a challenge.
Exactly.
You love.
He keeps throwing things at me. I don't even know it at times. He's like, we gotta make a barbershop video. I'm like, okay, let's go make a barbershop video. He's like, you gotta make a spa video. I'm like, really? I'm like, mechanic, spa, like, where do you see them too good? Like, I need it. I'm like, all right.
I'm like, okay, let's go to the spa.
Exactly. So he's like, let's do that. I'm like, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Exactly. And then just the other day, we, if you see, there's paintings sitting there.
Yeah.
We had my friend come by. She's an artist. She does painting and stuff. So she came by, and I'm like, why don't we do an interview with you, because she just did traveling around the world and stuff. So I was like, let's get to know about the traveling life, because I couldn't go and do the travel videos, but at least I can get the people that have to recently traveled, and I can use their knowledge as an experience.
There you go.
So I was like, bring her in, but she's like, I'm gonna be creative. I'm like, okay, sure, let's do it. So we set up a little stage here. We had 2 chairs. She was painting on her side, I was painting on my side, and we left a little image so people can see the image, but they don't know how our paintings are looking.
Oh.
In between there, we had a conversation about traveling, what she did, where she stayed, how she traveled.
Yeah.
Couch surfing, I never even knew what that was until recently.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah, I didn't even know
Been
there
there
was
a few times.
Yeah, I never even knew there was a thing called couch surfing.
Thank you to all those couches you let me stay on. You
Yeah.
know who you are. all of you. I think there's like more than 5 of you.
So, yeah.
Still here.
Yeah, it was things that I didn't know about, and
Yeah.
this is what I'm saying. This is a talk show where I can learn something from everyone else that I don't know. And I'm not going to say, yes, I've hit the success in life and I know everything. No, I don't. The thing is, I'm going to learn from every single person, whether they come and deliver parts or they come and give me, lawyers, doctors giving me big notes and this and that. It just depends. It doesn't depend on what you do.
Yeah.
Everybody to me is at the same level. I am not bigger than the next person. You have to value yourself, and you have to value the people around you.
And I agree.
And if you want to get to a certain success in life, you can't do it alone.
No.
So if you can't do it alone, might as well take everyone with you. Because you don't want to be at the top alone. It's boring. It's not worth it. You feel unsatisfied. You feel like, yes, I'm here, but where's my satisfaction? Where's my comfort? Where's the part where it's like, this was deserving, dude. There was nobody that recognized you there. You got, the achievement, but at the end of the day, who's beside you to share that?
Right. And I've thought about that a lot too. With every year that passes in my life, and I'm sure for yours, do you ever look back on your past of who's fallen off the train, for example? I'm like, wow, I wish they were here right now. What could I do to bring them back?
Yeah.
You know, like when you say about making it to the top, it's like your top. It's where you want to go. It's like, hey, there's your goal, and you might place yourself here because you got a lot of work to do to get to that goal.
Exactly.
That's, those are the levels you have to achieve. Comparing, yourself to another person. I don't always do it. I shouldn't say I don't do it. I mean, I compare in a way of like, I compare successes, not placement in life.
Definitely. That's
So,
the way you have to
okay,
do it.
how close are you to your goal? That's what I'll ask. Oh, I'm just starting. And I'll say, well, I've been achieving my goal for 16 years. So I'm a little bit closer to mine than you would be to yours if our goals are both to
Along the same line.
win the same photography award. We're at the same level to achieve. I've been going at it for 16 years. You've been going for 6 months. I can teach you a few things. But you have to be open to receive. And you have to ask to receive. And that's something I'm also learning. As I get older, you can't just be giving yourself all the time. They have to ask for it.
Yeah.
And they have to know what they're asking for.
Well,
Energy has to
the thing
match
is,
too.
they have to recognize what they're asking for.
Yes.
Right? And how you recognize it is by this. You've been doing it for so many years. People know you in the industry, and this is where you are today. It's not like I can walk into Alberta Film and be like, put me in the movie.
You could.
I don't know. I wouldn't be good. I wouldn't be good. For that one.
Actually, I was suggesting. I had a great idea recently that I actually want to make a film about like Nav's life.
Yes.
And like some of his like untold stories, like some of like the darkest but most inspirational stories.
And that's where inspiration comes from.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
and I want to
recently-
make something like super like raw, nothing. I don't want to make it documentary style. I want to make it like proper feature
Experiencing the
drama.
life experience through my own story. Yeah, and the thing is,
That's kind of what I'm doing right now with Joe.
yeah.
Yeah.
The last 2 years.
Yeah, so we're filming a sort of a documentary, but it's not a documentary. It's just the reflection of my life. And I'm going to live through it again to show it on film.
Yes.
There's no extra auditions because who's going to play you better than you? Nobody. Who's going to really know the experiences and the struggles that you went through at that moment? Except for yourself. So what he's told me, and I really like the idea. So what we're going to be doing is I'm actually going to go back to all my employers, have a discussion with them, and I'm actually going to go and work there again.
Oh,
and
wow.
make this whole shoot all over again from where it started, from where the journey started.
Yeah.
And
Good
showcase
and bad,
all of them.
Good and bad. Like,
Good and bad. And
Really?
you know what? And there's a lot of struggles. There's a lot of things I did wrong. And you know what? It's untold stories that I've never mentioned. And a lot of it was more like, okay, if I say this, I'm gonna be appearing as this, and I'm gonna be appearing as that. But at the end of the day, this is who I am. This is what made me who I am.
Yes.
Through my struggles, through
Yes.
all those wrong things I did in life,
Nav, you get
to
it.
be where I am today.
Yes.
The wrong choices, the poor
Yes.
decisions, the jump to excitement, all those things people need to understand that that is part of building your character,
Yes.
building who you are as a person.
Yes. It doesn't make you a bad person for
Yeah.
exploring you.
Exactly.
Just be you.
Yeah. So this is why when Jose told me this, I'm like, you know what? You want it raw, and he's like, raw.
Yes.
We're gonna take it back to like where you screwed up, and continue screwing up
Yeah.
to becoming where you are today.
And now that you have that new perspective, you can go back with this new knowledge and potentially heal past wounds.
Definitely, and that's kind of what I want to do. Like even till today, every single employer that I used to work for, still till today, I have all their numbers.
Yeah.
Every year I do Christmas, New Year's, birthdays. I message them, even though I don't work for them. It's been 16 years since I worked for my first employer, and I still message them.
Really?
Because I'm one of those people where it's like I believe in
The
the bond more than the job value. That man taught me something. He gave me the opportunity to step in this industry, to start my footing. And today I'm standing where I'm standing because if he didn't give me the opportunity, I wouldn't be here. So every person throughout my life, whether it was good, bad, wrong, I think they were all meant to be there to make me better. And I wouldn't change anything to who I am my mistakes, all the things I've done in my life, all the struggles that I faced, all the challenges I put myself in, because you know what? I'm like, you said that it's a challenge? I mean, I'm going to prove you wrong. It's the same thing I did with the show. It was like, you can't do the video stuff. Now, if you don't know anything about it, I'm going to prove you wrong. And we started doing it. And, you know, people were like, hey, you can't do this. The prices are too high. You don't know the value. You don't know this. And I sold. They didn't.
Yeah.
And I was like, you're full of excuses because
You said it.
I am not. All I said was, Jose knows, back to back to back. I sold commercials one after another. And he was like, dude, you're not even trying. I'm like, it's not about trying. It's about being you, letting people recognize you for who you are as a unique person, and feeling comfortable around you to the point where they're like, it's not about money anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's about what he's giving me. It's not the value. The dollar doesn't matter then.
Mm-hmm.
It's the value behind that dollar that really mattered.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either you run for the dollar and you keep chasing it and you never get it,
Right.
or you make your value so much greater that the dollar doesn't matter anymore. Because the dollar didn't have any more value because what you do makes you enough dollars.
And that's something I actually been working on the last few years is exactly that.
Mm-hmm.
Money and then true happiness. It's following one's heart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been definitely doing this last little while. And it's incredibly empowering. Look at my journey the last 2 years, and even yourself
Mm-hmm.
with your space and your show. Like it works. Like this whole reality that we humans experience and create for ourselves, we do it subconsciously and unconsciously most of the time. And it's when you awaken, in other words, to the bigger picture,
Mm-hmm.
that you gain such a strength and clarity that you're able to then do what you just said, go back, fix past wounds. That's a person's character. That's someone's true self in a state of healed, like a healed state. That's a person who understands what they did. They understand the situation. They understand something different that they didn't in the past,
Mm-hmm.
and are strong enough now to reapproach it because the love is still there, or that passion is still there, that drive is still there. As an artist, I carry a lot of weight, a lot of pain. I carry a lot of things, and a lot of it is usually because of something that's been done in the past.
In the past.
That hasn't been fixed.
See, you know how you said that, right? With me, 2009, I almost died. I got jumped here in Calgary
You did.
by 10 people with baseball bats. I got
10?
hit more than 15 times in the back of the head with a baseball bat. Both shoulders dislocated, hand broken from 2 places. I don't know why it happened. I still don't know till today. And I don't really care for it.
Yeah.
And guess what? I've forgiven everybody. I did not try to press charges. I dropped the cases.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those people are my customers today.
Similar story. I didn't get jumped with bats, but I got terribly beaten outside of a nightclub walking home, not even from that nightclub. Don't even know who they were. But when I came to bloody on the concrete, my friends 10 feet away because they were so scared. They didn't know what the hell was going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at the guy who just attacked me, and he's apologizing profusely, almost crying. My reaction in the moment was to like wrap my legs around his, and just start pounding away. But I was so shocked at his severe sadness at his actions in that moment that as I'm trying to speak, I'm spitting blood everywhere. Like it was really bad. My whole face was messed up. I forgave him. I felt like he made a choice and he was consciously aware of it. And I felt for the first time someone's apology.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow, this person who just physically harmed me, the police are watching, they were laughing, they did nothing for it. At the end of the day, I forgave. I have a scar tissue in my mouth still because of it, and I feel it every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that person is apologetic. It was an intense energy, and I see what you're
That
saying.
taught you something different.
It did.
You know, with anger, violence does not end violence. Violence can only end above non-violence.
You said it.
And the only way you're gonna do that is you have to ground yourself and be like, done.
Yeah.
I don't want this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I need to stop this here. I need to stop this now.
Yes.
I'm not gonna let this grow. I'm not gonna put them in jail to grow that anger even more. So when they do come out, they're even more tempted to do more bad instead of do good. So if I can drop it and give them the opportunity to start over again, it's bigger than me. So what happened to me was my life lesson.
Yes.
I'm gonna take it as that.
Yes.
Must have done something wrong
Yes.
to deserve what I got.
I believe in karma too.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna take it as feel bad for me.
Never.
It's about understanding that I did wrong, which is the reason why I had consequences. And normally in life, in where we are, we stress, we fight, we have problems, we go through depression. But it's what you put yourself into is why it happened to you.
Take accountability.
Exactly.
For a lot of
Don't know what
times.
it is.
Yeah.
It's not that. You must have done something wrong. Ain't nobody stupid enough to do something like that unless it was by mistake, by something. It wasn't intentional, but it happened.
Did you ever find out why?
No, not till today, and I personally don't care anymore. It's the point of like, is it worth it even to know now?
At this point, no. If you've healed.
Exactly. And once the case started, 3 years later, the cop calls me and he's like, "Do you want to proceed with the case?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me? 3 years later, you're gonna come and ask me this question?" And now, whatever fire there was already erupted has already down, and there's nothing there. And now you want me to go and spark it again?
It's
Are you serious?
Right?
I'm like, I have a very comfortable life where I am now. I made new goals. I've made a new direction in life. I don't have the same association with the same friends. I'm gonna change my life my own way, and I'm not gonna ask you to proceed anything more. Drop the cases, drop the file. I don't care what happened. I forgave them, and I hope they forget themselves. Because it's more of a burden on yourself to know that you could potentially kill somebody. It eats you more than it eat me.
Exactly.
When you have the conscious and when you have the feeling and you understand emotions, that day will come back and it will eat you more than it will eat me. So for me, that's more important to understand that, forgive and forget. Move on and let them be them, because at one day the lesson will come around and you're not God, so you cannot give them judgment. Right? I'm not the one in control of someone's life and someone's judgment and their judgment call. What I can do is just control myself.
You said it. I agree. And coming on your show, I got to see like a perspective of you that I never got a chance to until now, outside of running into you at Bret Hart's event. It was, a quick flyby. It's very hard to connect at a soul level with somebody at a party when there's hundreds of people whizzing by you. And, it's just so much noise a lot of the time. So it is hard to focus. And here we are in your home, your hub. Home, I meant to say hub. An extension of your home, connecting energetically. It's a much different feeling than it would have been if we were just typing online or on webcam.
And honestly, even a webcam, it's not the same expression.
It's not the same.
This is why when you came in, and any guests that come here, first I give them the tour. Get them to understand who I am.
Yes.
Because why am I doing this? Who is Nav? What is the story behind Real Talks with Nav? You get to know me, my team, and get to see what we've built here. And then we do the interview, so then you kind of know, okay, this is his platform, this is what he's done.
Yes.
But who is he is now we're going to find out.
Yeah.
I get to know you, you get to know me, and this is what the platform's idea is. There's no scripting, there's nothing that really needs to be put down. It's about positivity and energy that can help others get out of this state, and not only that, maybe find a new balance in life.
Yes.
Maybe through our conversations, through our voice, something recognized with them that could reflect in their life and be like, hey, I know what that means, and I know how to change that now. But like you said earlier, it takes that other person to recognize what you've been feeling.
Yes, it does.
And our conversation maybe may give someone else recognition of understanding that, whatever I've been fighting with, maybe it's the right thing I'm fighting with. But I don't need to fight anymore. I understand it.
Yes. Because when you understand, there's no need to fight.
Exactly.
You've got empathy and compassion to what it is you just gained understanding for, and then you can share that with others and become the change for others after you've overcome that challenge for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Some
100%.
powerful tools out there for everybody.
Yep.
And I think the most important tool for everyone to remember is it's in other people
Mm-hmm.
as much as it is in yourself.
Yep.
And look around. If your best friends, your family aren't giving you what you need in that regard to support or even just an ear to listen to, someone to ask questions, someone to challenge you.
Mm-hmm.
Who's challenging you in your life right now?
Exactly.
That's one of my biggest questions, because if you're not challenging yourself, is there anyone in your life that is challenging you, keeping you accountable, keeping you on your toes, or helping you set goals, helping you achieve goals?
It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah?
Every time people think that there's a task
Yeah.
involved, they take it as like, no, I don't want to do it.
And yeah,
You know what I mean?
Some people
Now they
do.
run away from it. They
Yeah.
say, you know what? New Year's resolution, I'm going to go to gym. 2 weeks later, what is gym? It's like Jeopardy. You know what I mean?
You
It's
have to
like-
find the passion in it in order to keep going with it. And I mean, some people make it a habit.
Mhm.
Sure. But it should come natural to you.
100%.
It should be an energetic flow. You should never be forced to do something you don't want to.
You want to do.
Or feel like you have to do. You should just
Be
flow
yourself.
and be yourself. And you are learning more about you. Your people, my people. I am as well. It's such a beautiful life we're living. And I'm seeing just beauty in everything these days. I'm smiling more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feeling more motivated. I'm feeling more confident. I'm working on sharing my blessings, shining my light, helping others shine theirs, find theirs, and telling my story just like you. It's like, well, how are people going to know me or resonate with me on a deeper level if they don't know who I am?
Exactly.
I have to take charge and be the leader of my own life and express that outside of my creative box, my photos, my videos, and the music I've created, and the acting, another form of expression for me as well.
Definitely.
I have to tell the real me, that story, where I came from, how I was raised, I'm the oldest of 7 kids, like go into the details that most people would never assume or think of me as being. Same with yourself. Like, I had no idea you had a mechanic shop.
Yeah.
Like, where am I? I'm walking in, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's a lot more below the surface. And it's until you're able to be brought into that world that people are going to have that perception of you.
Exactly.
And to be on your platform and to discuss different part of me live after meeting you for, I think, the first real time.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of the choices I've made and yourself included.
100%.
I wouldn't be here if you didn't make the choice to
Put this on.
That's what
Put
I'm
this
saying.
together.
Look
Yeah.
at
It's just
all the choices we've made are just bringing all these people together.
and it's a community building. We need to do it because right now we need to stand together
Yes.
and make something new, revolutionary.
Yes.
Because the new world, the new is something that we have to develop. It's
That's
not
right.
there.
That's right.
There's no code to it. There's no solution to it. There's no formula to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's what we manifest ourselves to do and keep pushing others to do. Find their light and
Speaks the
keep
truth.
moving.
I resonate with that, and I practice that as much as I can. Have awareness to it. I'm always resetting myself to a place where I need to be aligned with the goal.
100%.
And the goal is to feel good, to help others out of their struggles, to show them how I see them through the art that I create with them, and to always be of some sort of positive influence in their life even when they're feeling weak. I can be a source of strength.
Definitely.
Not be their strength, but a source to inspire their strength.
100%.
I'm very good at listening, and when struggling or someone's hurting, I'm very good at honing in on how and where I can help, and then having them ask for it.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Because
It's
they
a
have
day-to-day
to know
thing,
what
right?
they're asking for.
And the thing is, look at it this way. Over the years, we gain experience. With that experience, we remember our flaws that we have. And if we see a reflection of that flaw with someone else, we see it, but we don't go and ruin it for them and be like, you're doing it wrong, you don't know what you're doing, this and that. We turn it around and let them have a life lesson. But when they're ready, they can always come to us and ask us the answer or the hey, how would you do it?
Guidance, yes.
And that's very important because people need to make the mistake to understand
That's right.
what they're doing.
That's right.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's learning experience. That's what it is. You make the mistake, you struggle. Today you're not doing the same thing you were doing 10 years ago. Today I'm not the same person as I was 10 years ago.
Neither am I.
So you have to grow and adapt. And it's reflects off of you to whatever you do, around
Yes, it does.
And for me, it's about staying positive, giving people positive vibes, giving people the energy to keep being like, you know what? I don't know where my positive energy comes from, but I just have it.
Yeah.
I know about it. I'm just like, you know what? I've never used it as a positive thing, but this is my chance to actually use it as a positive thing and actually give it back.
You've gone through a lot in life.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more than a lot of people have.
Mm-hmm.
That's your starting point.
Mm-hmm.
And I can relate with you on that. That light, that spark that's in there, it never goes out.
Yep.
It's internal. It's forever. It's there.
It's just creative. Just keeps like,
And
hey,
it just
I gotta
keeps
keep
going.
going. Yeah. and you gotta challenge yourself. Challenging yourself is very important
It's
because
the
that's
most
how you
exciting
grow.
part.
That's how you grow.
I know.
I'm a big challenge believer because anything anyone says to me, no, you can't do that. You do not just say that. That just feels like you just challenged me.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, as soon as you said that, now I have to prove you wrong.
Just like with acting in Alberta. What
Exactly.
do you mean acting in Alberta? That'll never happen.
Yeah.
I got told no, even by my friends and family, some of them, to steer me
There's
away
nothing wrong,
from
though.
that. No, and I did what you did. I said, "Oh, you want to say no? Well, watch me,
Exactly.
and I'm gonna do what I want to do now in half the time."
Yeah.
You know what
and
I mean?
I'm gonna
Like,
prove it.
I'm
not
gonna
only
prove
to,
it.
I'm not gonna prove it to you. I'm
To
gonna prove it to
me.
myself
Mhm.
because at the end of the day, what's important to me is, did I stand up for what I said? Did I improve myself to do what I was gonna say? Right? And it's the reflection of how much force are you willing to put to yourself to become better, become stronger. And if it doesn't continue with you, at least take something from there and learn it and use it in some other, form of life, which is what I did with my life.
Yes.
I had a marketing company in 2014, which is how I kind of connected with Jill because
Oh, yeah.
Jill was here with her magazine, and I told her, I'm like, I can help you make it cheaper because I used to have a magazine in 2014, Evolving City Magazine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, here in Calgary, I used to put 10,000 copies out every month.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
we
a
were
lot.
really busy. I was
Yeah.
doing commercials, ads, this and that. So I already did what she's doing.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like, instead of watching her struggle, I was like, can I help you make it easier?
Yeah.
So we actually printed her last edition, which you were featured in. And I helped her with all the printing stuff.
For Ampia in last summer.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
exactly. So when you guys were out in Edmonton doing
Yeah.
those print copies,
Thank you.
because she needed it in 2 days and it was not possible,
No.
she called me. She's like, "Nav, can you please make it possible? Like, I really need to. It needs to be there. Jordan's coming on TV. It has to be there." So we printed it out in 2 days, notice, and then we made sure that she got it there.
And that was incredible what you did. We braved the snowstorm heading to this awards ceremony, the Rosies, they're called, Ampia in Edmonton last year. We almost got ran off the road like 6 times. I was in my own car, she was in her own, and it was chaos getting there. We almost didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
And when we did make it, we found out that half the people, not half, but near half the people didn't show up because of this huge
Because of the storm, yeah.
We were volunteering to be the red carpet media, red carpet photographer. I came with a 7-foot parabolic, a strobe. I brought out the best that I could bring out in that time for 500 of the industry leaders of film and television in Alberta.
Yeah.
And here Jill comes with a box full of magazines that you allowed her to have essentially to distribute. And half the people in the room were in this magazine.
Yeah.
It was all the boxes were empty by the end of the night. Everybody got a copy and their mom. It was next level.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is nobody actually knew it was me on the cover.
Oh, I know. I noticed that. And
Not a single person. As
Yeah.
I'm taking all their photos, making them all feel good and putting them up and then getting them published and put all over the media. Nobody knew it was me, but it was me.
Yeah.
Right in front of them the whole time. It's
Yeah.
just amazing what a shaved head can do and
Yeah,
some
it
crazy
changes
lighting,
the
right?
person's idea of look and everything.
And now, after seeing what that year has done, just even a month ago, talking to some people at the Rosie's, like, I recognize you from the Ampias. And it wasn't until I picked up that magazine 8 months later that I realized that it was you.
It was you.
And I remember you 6 years ago. And you did this with my cousin and you changed my sister's life. And oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, when people wake up, it's just so amazing. Like, to who I've been, you know, like, just all of that. It's like, oh my gosh, it's working.
It is.
And like, then I'm like, who's involved in that? And now that I've heard for the first time that, you know, like, how involved you were with that process, it's like that choice.
Well, Bret Hart didn't have a way to get to the event.
Really?
I was the one that got him there.
Really?
On time. And initially, I was supposed to bring a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
To bring Bret Hart.
Fitting.
And then they told me his wife's coming too.
Yes.
So I turned it into a BMW i8.
Oh, fun.
And then they call me, Jill calls me and she's like, there's 7 people. I'm like, Jill, what does this look like? I'm like, listen, I'm not a chauffeur and I don't have like luxury of cars. It just comes around. Luckily, I had a good friend of mine from Auto House that really helped me out. He's a good friend of mine. And I spoke to him about it. They were helping me get the Lamborghini. They were also helping me get with the i8. But then when it became 7 people, I'm like, even if I take an SUV, I can't fit 7 people in there, right? Because seven people, including child seat, and I have to pick up a person on the way. So it was like 8 or 9 people total. So I'm like, how am I gonna fit that? She's like, can you get a limousine? I'm like, this is a dealership, not a limo service. Like, where do you want me to do this right now? And this is an hour before the event.
Oh gosh.
And then I'm getting called from Fu. I forgot Fu. He was the director of the film. He's like, dude, Jill said you can help us. I'm like, but I didn't say anything. I don't even know if I can. I don't know.
But you were challenged.
I was challenged, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna find a way. So when I was going to pick up the car, which was supposed to be a Lamborghini to an i8. I go there and I'm like, I need 2 cars. And he's like, because who's going to drive the other one? I'm like, you are. And he's like, well, why would I be driving? I'm like, bro, I really need help. And it's Bret Hart. And he's like, Bret Hart who? I'm like, Bret Hart, the wrestler, bro. And he's like, you know what? If I wasn't a fan of his, I probably wouldn't do it. But I'm his big fan. So like, do I get to drive him? I'm like, yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do. You take the fancier car? I don't care. Just come with me because we have 7 or 8 people we got to pick up and get to the event within an hour.
So you've helped Bret Hart, as have I. I've
Yeah.
helped his family many times. I was in England on a press tour with his sister Diana Hart. Did the cover of her book, award-winning book series, Cauliflower Heart, loosely based off of her wrestling dynasty and the love and all of that. And we did a week in England, London for WrestleCon, the Worldwide WrestleCon with Bret Hart. And I never seen 10,000 people in one day so infatuated with a human being before.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm in the room absorbing the energy these fans have for him. Oh, then we go and do dinner at the end of the long day.
Yeah.
And then you see how much of a family man he is with his
son. He's a very, very close family man. Honestly,
very grounded.
So after the event, Bret Hart and the family kind of left with another group just because, you know, you don't want to stay too late because then there's always, you know, autographs.
Yeah, could be a star.
Be a
star.
So they left, but their car seat was in my car. So they're like, can you please drop off the car seat? Well, I knew where Bret Hart lived, but I didn't know where his son lived, whose house we were supposed to go drop the car seat off at. So I go back to Bret Hart's house and to go drop it off. And at that time, I'm not noticing, I'm just doing it because I was like, hey, we still gotta get this baby seat back to them. So I open the door. I mean, I get out of my car and go ring the bell, and all of a sudden Bret Hart comes out of his car. Like, you know, all the wrestling action back in that same position, like he's about to come charging at me. And I was like, whoa, this is so cool. Like, this is real.
Right.
You
Getting
know what I mean?
a piece of that, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, he was coming out like somebody's in his property, trespassing, because it was a nighttime, right? Because the show ended, it became dark, they went home. I have a baby seat that is theirs, and I don't really need it, right? And I'm using one of my friend's cars, so I have to give him his car back, but I don't need the baby seat in there. So Jill's like, can you please drop it off? You know, they really need it. I'm like, all right, cool. So I drove all the way to their house, and then, you know, because I'm in their property, he comes out like he's about to just wrestle me. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm just here to drop this off. Don't get mad here. But it was such a cool experience to get to know him at a good level. Like, he is a very family man.
Yeah.
Like, anything that is around him has to surround his family. And that to me is very big. And you know, that shows to us that, you know, a worldwide star, as much as how big you are, but if you don't value the people that are around you, life doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
He values the people around him a lot. And I respect that too, like crazy. And he's not just doing it for him, like his family. He also does it with the Heart Foundation. He's also doing with everything else that he's put his name behind.
That's right.
He didn't do it for himself only. He did it for all the other things that are out there, which is amazing. He's our star, Calgary, you know, legend.
Absolutely.
And made Calgary come in the, you know, being noticed. It's Bret Hart that made that happen, and you know, we gotta recognize that, and we always put that out there. And Jill and I literally we met a month before that.
Wow.
She came here for her magazine, talking to me about that, and I helped her print the magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Then the following 2 weeks after that, she was like, hey, there's a Bret Hart event going on, but I need my magazine printed before, which was you guys going out there. Then the week after that was the event for Bret Hart's opening, so it was just like chaos, just movement. She calls me, she's like, oh my god, this is this. Then we went out, did a video shoot, we did a photo shoot out because she needed to do it for the magazine, get it all out there. And it was such a interesting trend that, you know, Chris LaBelle.
Love.
Yeah.
Such a talent.
He's an amazing guy. He's a good friend of mine. He did one of my first commercials. So me and Chris worked together.
Which commercial was that? Did I see it?
It's the mechanical commercial. It's the one where you probably haven't seen it. It was out a year and a half,
Maybe
2 years
I
ago.
did. Was it in a pool?
No, it wasn't in the pool. This was the one where Brett Forte was in it too.
Oh, he's funny too.
Yeah, he was on the toilet saying mechanical. Huh.
I did see that.
Yeah.
I think I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that one was the whole funny commercial for mechanical. That was the idea. And Chris LaBelle and I did that. When Jill came here and she realized that I worked with Chris LaBelle, she's like, she put me on the magazine as this new mechanic shop that has a story, you know, where he died and he came back and he just pushed that in. Now he opened up a shop. So she put my story out, which related back to how she met me through LaBelle in the storyline. And then from there, she asked me about all the stuff. I helped her with the magazine stuff. She still calls me. She's like, I need the magazine printed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I need 10 copies right now.
You know, Chris is another man who's family oriented. You know?
Oh, big
Gotta
time.
love him.
He's big with his son.
Oh, yes.
Dominic, Chris came here the other day. He actually comes here often, just hangs out, maybe bring some friends and stuff.
Absolutely.
And
I've done some photos for his shows.
Yeah.
And his talents. A lot of the talents he's hosted on his stage, I've captured and helped deliver high-end visuals to help elevate their careers.
Yeah.
Some are now on CBC doing their own thing.
Yeah, and they're it's so amazing to see, you know, it's the community that helped each other.
Yes.
But nobody saw it
Mm-hmm.
because nobody looks at that end.
Exactly.
They need to realize that, you know, we all come from different ends of the industry, but we all unite without anybody knowing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We united in a way that nobody knew. Like, Jill met me through doing Chris's story on our magazine, to like transitioning that I got a commercial made by, you know, Chris LaBelle. And then it went on and then it was like, hey, I met her, then we helped her out with Bret Hart. It was like so like jumpy that I was like, you know what, I didn't even have enough time to think about what am I doing.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it has to be done, it has to get done by tomorrow, let's go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the graffiti jam that we got involved with it, and they work with Shambhala and all the big festivals that happen across Canada. And for me, I've never been to a festival in my life, so it was like, okay, what is the experience going to be like? But and then all of a sudden they're like, it's on your channel. I'm like, what? Okay, so I guess we're featuring you. I didn't even know that. Okay, cool. we're doing that. Then the pressure started becoming more intense. It's like, hey, now we need equipment. We need more of it.
Lots of it, yeah.
So then, Jose and I did research. We started getting every equipment that we could possibly get together for this event. And we lost a lot of cables because people stepped on them and broke them and this and that. And we bought multiple. And then, it was just the experience of knowing that, what, things are going to go wrong. But you committed yourself to something that if you were not ready for, you shouldn't have taken it on.
True.
But it was Jose telling me, we got this, bro. And I said, okay. We got this, we got this. We're staying up all night. Me and him stayed up all night, all day. And I worked during the day here at the shop.
So you got...
So I worked through the day, then I had to be out of here by 6 because we had to pick up some of the equipment on the way and then get there and set up. And we took all the computers, everything that you see here.
Oh my gosh.
We had to set up from here, put it out there because it's in a gym, so there's no computers, no nothing.
You had to, yeah.
So we had to set up from everything from here to there and then get it all live.
Mm-hmm.
And then run it for 24 hours and unpack and bring it right back. So after we unpacked, I took him home and then I had to come back and drop all the equipment back in the shop because the next day I got to pick up some more stuff. I got to load up my car and I can't really load it up if I have all this equipment.
It takes a village to do what we do.
Yeah.
It really does.
And people think it's like, hey, it's just a recording, guys. It's like, no, it isn't. It's all the hard work that went behind the recording.
Yes.
Not only that, it's staging it. It's putting the intermediate ads in there.
Yes.
That's putting the graphics in there.
Yes.
All of that counts.
Mm-hmm.
People think it's like a joke. It's like, hey, you're just adding effects. It's not an effect that was existing. It's an effect that we created.
Exactly, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
When you create something, that's the difference.
Definitely. Jordan, is there anything that you would like to announce or say to our audience?
I almost forgot they were there. Honestly, it's authenticity right now is it's one of the biggest things that's needed in our community and even in the world. And being transparent and being vulnerable to be transparent.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all have the strength to be better than who we are now.
Exactly.
And never settle for, like, don't get comfortable with staying the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, this is not a time to be sitting around marinating in old ways of being. Level up in any way, in any shape or form. Just make a different choice in a new direction or add to the direction you're going. Just live.